Welcome to Techno Learning. In this video, we are going to develop an face detection app using Android Studio with Kotlin. So this is how our app will look like. You can see that there's a detection of face with eyes. And now let me start the Android Studio to make this project. So here I'm opening it and click on create a new project. After this, you have to select the empty activity and click on next. Now you have to give the name of your app, as I'm giving it as face recognition, and select the language as Kotlin. This is really important. Select the language as Kotlin. After that, you have to click on finish. The project will start to build out, and here it is building. Now it has built out. So let me go to the build Gradle module and add a dependency for Google GMS Vision. This dependency basically contains the face detection package and classes. So let me enter it. It is com.android.gms.play-services-vision, and the version is this. I'm not sure about the version, but okay, we will correct it if there will be some kind of error related to this version. So you have to implement this dependency, so check it out very carefully. After that, after adding this dependency, we have to move to manifest, that is Android manifest. So we'll come back to the project and then we'll go to the manifest folder, and in this we have to add a metadata tag, and this is how we're gonna add this. It is meta-data. After that, Android name of this metadata, and it is as same as that dependency, com.google.android.gms.vision.dependencies. After that, you have to give the value. I'm giving the value as face only, as I will use the face detection library. And you can see that. Make sure that you have typed it correctly and there should be no spelling mistakes. So this is complete, and let me just sync the project so that it download the dependency from the internet, and it has downloaded. Now I'm going to design the screen. So let me come to the activity main XML, which is located under the resources folder. After that, let me remove this text view, and also I want to remove this constraint layout, and I'll place a linear layout instead of constraint layout, and here I to just remove it and add the closing tag for the linear layout. Now you have to add the orientation, and I will take it as vertical. So under this linear layout, we have to add a button and an image view. So let me add the button here, and the width and height of this button will be wrap content, and we'll make an on click for this button named as process image. It is showing as red color. Don't worry about it, we'll be implementing within the code. of Java file and giving the text for this button as process. After that, you have to add the image view with the layout width and height as wrap content. Also, don't forget to add the ID for this image view as image underscore view. After that, we have to add a content description for this, and let me take up this as content underscore description. Okay, let me extract it to the string. So I will click on this yellow bulb and click on the extract resources and then click on OK. So okay, now we have to design this part. Also, don't worry about this error. And here I'm gonna to design more. First of all, let me close this image view and let me copy it, cut it to the below of image view. Okay, now let me add some more attributes to these views, and let me add the gravity, layout gravity as the bottom. It is not working, so I'll take up as the central. Horizontal is better. Let me go for this. It is center horizontal. Yes, it worked out. Let me try to add some more thing, like I have to make it appear on the bottom center. So let me go for a margin from the top. So let me click on it, and yeah, I have to take up value as 500 dp, but it is too much. Okay, let's try this. This is how we learn designing part. We mistake, we learn, we correct them, we learn. Okay, so it is good, but margin from the top is 550. It is much more, so you can't take this. Let me think of the alternative for this. So let me add one more linear layout here. Okay, width and height will be wrap content, and afterwards I have to add the orientation as vertical. And let me see for the particular tag that I want to add, but it is not there. So let me go for the layout weight. I think this is work on. Yeah, I'll set up the value as 1 for this layout weight, and let me remove this margin top. Yeah, it is also working, but it is too much towards the bottom. Let me take a margin from the bottom for this button. So here I will be taking it as margin from the bottom, and I will be giving the value as 23 dp. Okay, it is looking good right now. On the white screen, the image will appear as you have seen it in the previous part of the video. Let me take some padding for this button so it look like a bigger inside. Let me take the padding as 23 dp, but it is too much. Let me go for the 15 dp. Yeah, it is good. As for now, this part is completed. Let me go to the Kotlin coding. Yeah, here I am in the Kotlin coding. So for now I have to, and now I'm gonna to add some global variables that are gonna be constant throughout the whole app runs. So it is, first one is it is from private const val. So the modifier is private and the variable is constant, so that's why const val, and taking the left eye as for, and the radius is 10f. F is for telling that the variable belongs to be float. And then the text size is 50f. After that we are going to add one more variable, and it is corner radius. This variables will help you out to draw a rectangle and place image under the eye of the face. That's why I'm adding these variables. And the stroke for is drawing the rectangle on the face whenever the face detected in the image, and I'm taking it as 5f. F is for taking the float value. And now I have to add some more variables here, but it is inside the class. So what are they? First of all, the late init keyword is used to initialize the variables which you are going to initialize at the end. You are not by default initializing at the beginning, but you will initialize them throughout the code at the last. And now I'm adding the default bitmap, and after colon I'm adding the data type. You have seen the data types in various languages like Java, C++. So for defining the data types or telling the data types in Kotlin, this is the format. You have to add a colon after the variable name, and then you have to tell the data type of that variable, such that the data type of this canvas is canvas. And so now the variables are added. Let me add some lambda functions. Lambda functions are those functions which are defined within one line, like it is rack paint, and it belongs to Android graphics paint. After that, I have to make one more function, face detector, and for this I have to tell the return type also. And then it was a variable, and for now I'm telling the getting getter etc. by default in Kotlin. You just have to call them. So I'm calling the get function and taking initialization of the detector whenever you are processing the image. So I'm gonna define this function further. Let me map my image view with this Kotlin code variable, and here you have to tell the template you have seen in C++. It is like this in Kotlin. You have to add the view, that this is a type of view, and then everything in XML is a view. Then add r.id.image view, and it is taking us as image view. So image view is added. Now I have to make functions. There will be 5 or 6 functions. I think 4 or 5 functions will be there. So the first function is process image. This function will able to process your image. So this is important function, and I'm passing the view within this function. By view I will be getting the objects or the related variables from the class. Okay, so now I'm taking as the bitmap. Also the bitmap is used for the image processing. Bitmap is a kind of format, like we have the format JPG, PNG. Bitmap is also kind of format, but in bitmap the image are split into matrices. So that's why we will use matrix or the bitmap. And I'm making the bitmap factory options. I'm applying it and making immutable or true. Immutable is used when you're going to change the values like that. And now within this function I'm calling another function that I'm going to initialize further, and I'm passing this bitmap options here. After that, I'm adding one more function. This function is also gonna define letter, create rectangle paint. It will create an rectangle on the face with the paint, and then I'm passing the canvas within canvas the temporary bitmap, and I will draw the bitmap with default bitmap, and it takes matrix, as I've already told you that bitmap works in terms of the matrix, and it will take from left top and paint will null. After that, face detector is not working, then you have to add some warning or message. So here I'm checking that face detector is operational or not. If it is not, then there will be an alert dialog, and I have to build this and set message. What will be the message? The message will be face detector cannot be set up on this device. So yeah, this message will be print out if the face detector is not operational, is not functional on the device. Like some devices having problem with this, and so it is the message. After that, you have to show this by calling the show function. Otherwise, if it is working completely, then you have to create a variable frame and taking the frame builder. And why it is showing error, I don't know. I don't have to import anything right now. So within this, you have to call the set bitmap with the default bitmap within its parameter, and you have to build it. Okay, so this variable is completed with that function will return the value. And let me create a sparse array. Sparse array will be responsible for printing the values on the rectangle, on the sides of the rectangle, and it will detect the frame, detect faces with the help of a sparse array. The face will be captured within the rectangle. And let me draw it within this image view, bitmap tribal, and taking up at resources with temporary bitmap. Okay, now the face detector dot release will be call out. Don't worry about the errors. Actually, these errors are because of the wrong importation of the package or the version. I will correct it out. The project will work 100%. Now the another function called Initialize Bitmap, and taking the bitmap options from the bitmap factory. After that, within this function, you have to initialize value to the default bitmap when the bitmap will be initialized. So this is how the bitmap will be initialized from the bitmap factory, and you have to call the decode. You are going to decode the resource within it. Okay, pass the resources and give the values as r dot drawable, and I'm giving an image. For example, I will change this image. I'm giving it just to complete the function body. Okay, for now the temporary bitmap will be set up. This will responsible for placing the eye patcher within under the left eye. Yes, so temporary bitmap will be there. and what it takes as in the body. Let me give it out. Default bitmap dot height, and then default bitmap dot width, but width is already given here. So now you have to give the configuration for the for the colors pattern, that it would be RGB 565, and then this will be responsible for placing the eye patch under the left eye. Temporary bitmap is to create the temporary bitmap with that image having the rectangle on the face, and this is that let me place a demo image on this also. I will place the image afterwards. I've downloaded. Don't worry about these images. I have provided the link in the video description. You can download these images from there and then place it in the driver folder. Like I will show you in the upcoming part of this video. And there's one more function called create rectangle paint. Also, you have to give the color for the rectangle, and giving the stroke width for painting the rectangles, and giving the color as cyan. The stroke width is given on the global variable declaration already. After that, you have to give the styling for this stroke, and I'm taking the styling from paint.style. After that, one more function, and this function is initialize detector, and it will return something called the face detector. After that, within the body of this function, you have to return only a single statement. And what would be that statement? That statement is face detector dot builder, and within the builder you're passing the context this. After that, you are giving the set tracking for this, and set tracking should be false, and setting the landmark type, and it should be face detector dot all underscore landmarks. Okay, and now you have to build this finally. So this was the only statement within that function. Now the another function we are creating here, and this function will be named as detect faces. It will use the sparse array. That sparse array will point out the points, as the face is configured with nose, eyes, ears, and the eyebrows plays a major role while detecting the face, whereas this is all the part of the machine learning or the artificial intelligence, the face detection and the image processing. So within the sparse array template, you're passing the face, and on basis of this sparse array, you will be going to detect the face. It will point out some points, and if that points matches with that part of the image, then the face will be detected. So you have to run a loop for this, and within the for loop you will go up to the size of the sparse array. So for I in until sparse array dot size, and within this for loop you are storing the face from sparse array value at I. You are taking out the points, and for the left sparse array dot position of the left eye, as I've already told you, the configuration of the human face and position of X, and on the top side the position dot Y. And after this you are giving the right for the right left plus face dot width, and bottom as top plus face dot height. These are some configurations for finding the right and bottom. of the human face. And after this, you are calling the rectap function. The rectap function is from the Android library itself, and you are taking it and you are passing all these left, top, right, bottom points, and finally you will pass it within the canvas. You will draw the round rect, and you will pass out this rectaf, and you will have to also pass out the corner radius. There are corners in the face. It is of oval size overall. And lastly, the rect faint. And now you will call the detect landmarks. Landmarks are referred to the points on the face from which you are finding that it is a face in the image. And now the another function, the landmark, detect landmark. It will also contain the face, and face is of a face type, and it belongs to the GMS Google library that we have imported. We have to correct its version for it. For the landmarks, we have to also run up a loop, and we'll run up the for loop for it. And within this, you have to open it, and within this loop, you have to set up the x coordinate and the y coordinates. So first of all, let me take that x coordinate and landmark dot position dot x. After that, doing the same for the y coordinate, taking as the y coordinate and landmark dot position dot y. Okay, so for now you have to call up this canvas. By help of the canvas, you are drawing on the image. You are drawing a circle. This circle will contain the points that will be shown up on the face. If it is detected within the image, there will be a rectangle and few points. So canvas is used to draw all these things. And now you have to call up draw landmark type and pass landmark. This is also a custom function. I have to implement this function too. After that, passing all these things, x coordinate, y coordinate, and landmark type. After that, you have to make one other thing like eye patch bitmap, that is used for placing a image under the left eye of the face detected within the image. Or if the image size is small, then that patcher will contain the whole image. The whole face will be covered by a patcher. Okay, so let me implement these two functions. The first one is draw landmark type, and it is also a one-line function. Let me try for lambda, but I think the normal way will work out here. Yeah, so passing, getting all this x coordinate and y coordinates in terms of the float, and y coordinate as the float. Okay, don't miss a space within this colon and data type. It will also contain some error. Beware of that. So I'll take the type from landmark type dot to string. After that, rect paint text size is taken up from the text size global variable that we have declared in the first hub. And then let me draw the text by the help of canvas on the image for x coordinate and y coordinates, and rect it with the paint. Yes. So now those functions are completed. Now we have to import some library that are used, as there was a version error. So type this within the import: import.com.google.android.gms.vision.frame, and then again do the same for the another library. Actually, these library I am doing because my internet is off, otherwise it will automatically get them. So if you are following the video, then you have to type these 2 lines. And the third one is also com.google, and then Android, then GMS, then Vision, then face detector. Okay, these 3 lines you have to do by yourself. Let me sync it. See that if there was an error, so we have to go to the build Gradle. I think there is some version problem. Don't worry about it. There will be no error at the end of the video. So let me think. I think internet will be a good option to check out the version name, the current version of the Vision library from Google GMS. So for that, I think we have to use that. But before using that, let me check some more libraries if there seems to be a problem. But these libraries are good. There are no problem in that, because there are, I think, 12 libraries we have imported, including graphics, media, view, image view, Android X, alert dialog boxes there, and then these 3 GMS libraries are there. So I think there's lots of time wasted within thinking of that version. Let's do some work right now. Okay, so let me go to the build Gradle file, and before that I'm on the Google and I'm checking the current version name, the current version, the newer version. I was confused with that. So this is the Vision, and the version is 20.1.2. so copy it and go back to this and just paste it here within the codes. So okay, I pasted. Now I have to click on sync now. So as you can see that there are 2 errors, still 2 errors. Okay, but the error will be removed. Remove these 2 libraries, and now this is error free. Okay, remove that 2 libraries that was imported wrongly. And as you can see that we have to add some images. So I'm adding the image of Sushant Singh Rajput here and paste it within the drawable. You can take up the image from the internet or yourself. You can take the image of yourself also. So I'm taking his image, and let me correct the image name within the default bitmap. You can see that this can sound as the tribute to the late actor Sushant Singh Rajput. Okay, and also here I have to take up one more image, that is eye patch. Copy it. I will give the image link in the video description. You can download these images from that link. Don't worry about it. Paste it here, the second image, the eye patch. Okay, so just named it after that r.drawable.eyepatch. Perfect. So now our project is ready to go. I just have to run the project. So let me run it. I've clicked on the run button, and this is a click on the process, and here you can see that due to the small size image, the patcher is getting